This country has been variously named as India, Hindustan, and Bharat. The word India has its origin in the Greek literature meaning the land of Indoi, the people living near the Indus, Latin Indus. Persians and Greeks extended the name Sindhu, the river, from the Indus. Thus, it was called Hindustan, the land of Hindus in Persian and other West Asian languages. The term Hindu is derived from Sindhu. The Persians pronounce yes as yach, and thus they called Sindhu as Hindu. The land to the east of the Sindhu was called Hindustan. In the Hindu literature, the subcontinent as a whole is styled as Bharat or Bharatvarsh, the land of the legendary king Bharata, who visualized the fundamental unity of the country. However, some scholars believe that the name has been derived from the Bharat tribe, who among others inhabited the area. In the European language, it is popularly known as India. At present, only India and Bharat are officially recognized, although Hindustan is also in common use. Article 1 of India's constitution describes India, that is Bharat, as a union of states rather than a federation of states. This provision deals with two things: 1. Name of the country, and 2. Type of polity. There was no unanimity in the Constituent Assembly with regard to the name of the country. Some members suggested the traditional name Bharat, while others advocated the modern name India. Hence, the Constituent Assembly had to adopt a mix of both India, that is Bharat. India is a country of great geographical extent. It sprawls from the snowy ranges of the Himalayas in the north to the shores of the Indian Ocean in the south. It belongs to Asia, which is the largest continent of the world. It forms a part of South Asia and is separated by the Himalayas from the rest of the continent. It encompasses vast areas of diverse landmasses. In the north are the lofty Himalayas, parts of which are permanently ice-covered. To the south of Himalayas is the Great Indo-Gangetic Plain, which is well known for its fertile soils. The western part of this vast plain is Thar Desert. South of this plain is the peninsular India, comprising of the uneven plateau which is surrounded by eastern coastal plain in the east and western coastal plain in the west. Indian landmass gets an abundance of sunshine from the tropical sun and splashing rains from the monsoons. These are two most important climatic factors for the Indian people. Due to its vastness and diversities, India is considered to be a subcontinent as it comprises all the characteristics of a continent. The earth moves around its axis through 360 degrees in 24 hours. Thus, a difference of 1 degree longitude will make a difference of 4 minutes in time. Therefore, the difference of local time between Saurashtra and Arunachal Pradesh is 30 by 4 is equal to 120 minutes or 2 hours. Since Arunachal Pradesh is towards the east, it will have sunrise about 2 hours before the sunrise at Saurashtra. Thus, the sun is quite high in the sky at Arunachal Pradesh, while Saurashtra will waits for the first ray of the sun. Latitudinal extent also has its own impact. Rainfall, temperature, and vegetation vary with latitude. The difference between the longest and the shortest day in Kerala is hardly 45 minutes, whereas this difference may be as large as 4 hours in Leh and Ladakh. The difference between the longest and the shortest day increases with latitude. India shares her 15,200 long land frontier with Pakistan in the west and northwest, Afghanistan in the northwest, China, Nepal and Bhutan in the north, and Bangladesh and Myanmar in the east. India's longest border is with Bangladesh, while the shortest border is with Afghanistan. About 6,100 km long coastline of mainland of India is washed on three sides of the country by the Indian Ocean and its two arms, namely the Arabian Sea in the west and the Bay of Bengal in the east. If we add to this the coastlines of Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal and Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea, the total coastline stretches of 7,517 km. On economic front, the development of inter-regional linkage and the emergence of a national home market have played a significant role in uniting the country. For example, tea from Assam, wheat from Punjab and Haryana, minerals from Chota Nagpur Plateau and spices from the hill areas of the southern states are used all over the country, and in turn, these areas obtain items required by them from other areas. This process has been accelerated by the development of transportation and communication. There is an endless diversity in India, starting from its physical features to geological structure, fauna and flora, demographic structure, races, languages, religions, arts and crafts, and customs and traditions. This concept of unity in diversity is typical of India and has served as its strength during all ages and during the roughest times in its political and cultural history. It is amazing that different elements of Indian culture, particularly its drama and the arts, despite passing through different political phases, are characterized by an unmistakable unity and continuity. The successive waves of migration into India, starting with the Indo-Greeks 2nd century BC, Kushans 1st century AD, the incursions from the northwest by the Arabs, Turks, Persians, and others beginning in the early 8th century AD, and finally the establishment of the Muslim Empire by the 13th century AD, and the advent of Europeans, the Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danish, and the French, into India have brought in new elements in arts, music, literature, customs, and traditions which got imbibed into the Indian way of life, thus enriching its culture and heritage. From the very ancient time, India not only absorbed the foreign cultures into its composite fold, but it also managed to spread the rich elements of its own unique culture in different parts of the world. It is historically recorded that the Chola rulers had cultural contacts with countries like Ilamandalam, Sri Lanka, Srivijay, Sumatra, Chavakam, Java, Cambodia, and Kadaram, Malay Peninsula. Religion and philosophy, which forms the bedrock of any civilization, are evident in India, in the form of all major religions of the world: Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, and Judaism. Several unique philosophical thoughts like Kapila's Sankhya philosophy, Patanjali's Yoga, Gautama's Nyaya, Kanath's Vaisheshika, and Jaimini's Purva Mimamsa developed in India and attracted the attention of the outside world. Religious tolerance has been the characteristics of the Indian civilization right from the ancient days. The framers of the Indian Constitution ensured the continuance of these glorious traditions when they declared India as sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic.